Guess we got a little off track, but love knows a way back through the storms and pouring rain. Got my hands on the wheel and I'm flying, heartbeat loud as the thunder rolls, riding in on a stampede of lightning. I'm bringing back the sunshine, bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Oh, bring it back. Oh, yeah.
What's happening, everybody? Chris Biggett with you here at Fast 29, getting ready for the USORL Series, the AlphaTauri Cup Series at Trois in Quebec. Looking forward to some great road course racing action tonight. This is an unexpected broadcast because 2 or 3 people said, hey, go ahead and broadcast for us. I'm like, all right, we'll do it. So we got our passports and we're ready to rock and roll. So we got some great activities tonight as well. We got some surprises coming along on the broadcast too, some new stuff. So hopefully looking forward to that. For now, we're going to go ahead and get everything set up. I'll be right back and we'll go to practice. practice here at Trois Riviere. You guys ready to work on your French? Because I'm not, but here we go. We're going to follow Zach Webster around the track a little bit here. Very flat street course, a lot of blind corners. Kind of a fun little track, to be honest with you. Not very many high-speed sections. Even the French straightaway is deceivingly short because you're basically hitting the brakes just past the start-finish line. Downhill section going into a very deceivingly quick left-hander there. Currently the usual road course suspects in the top 4 right now, 4 and 5. Webster here is in 7th. We're going to let this kind of run here as we go. That looks like Zach got off the track, so we're going to hop to somebody else. There is, well, that's Darren Ingram, yep. In the 3 car. Beautiful looking Valvoline machine tonight. In case you hear me kind of cutting in and out a little bit here, I'm working on a few new things for this evening's broadcast. So just kind of bear with me tonight. Glad this is all happening during practice and not during the actual race, which is good. I think you're going to enjoy a few of the new things we've got going on this evening. All right, so one of the new things that we're going to have this evening is a little bit of picture-in-picture. So here's what we've got. We're following Darren Ingram around the track as he heads down into this tight left turn. Now, the computer that I'm running the onboard camera on has a lot more of the graphic options up, so it's going to look a little different on that one than it will be on the main screen there. So you'll see more trees, you'll see more buildings, things like that. It's just because that's the only thing that's running on that computer, so I can add a little bit more to that and make it look a little bit better. But obviously that's a low-def screen anyway, so you're not going to really be seeing too much down there. But just another little thing to kind of give you a little bit more into the action, and one more thing that I've got to kind of deal with too. So one more thing to keep up with. Gives you some idea there as Darren goes around this tight little street course at Trois Riviere. Oh, buddy, hang on to it. I think he's kind of had enough there. I think he's going to park it. But there you gives you some idea of how that's going to look. So we'll kind of cut in and out of those every once in a while. Big group of cars here. Got the got Noah Joyce, Dewey Schramm, Henrietta Bordeaux, and I believe is that Jeff? That might be Jeff Dixon. I'm trying to get used to a few of these new schemes tonight. Might have been Ray. Couldn't tell. We'll figure that out later. Again, this is practice. We're practicing figuring out who's who, too. Looks like Noah's internet's kind of kicking in and out a little bit, so we'll drop back to, there's the Baskin-Robbins 00 of Henrietta Bordeaux. She takes the track. Oh, Dan Asher back there. Now, he's popping on the screen here for a second because, well, now he's off. But he's going to be a part of the broadcast this evening, too. He's going to be our pre-race reporter as well as in-race reporter. So we're excited to have the driver of the number 26 involved with the broadcast this evening. So you'll hear from him probably during happy hour. We'll see how his setup is going. And then we'll try and talk with him during cautions when they happen and knowing the USORL when they happen. Rostowski and Marotta here, the 4 and the 8. There's Davey Hazard. He's, I believe, in second. Nope, he's falling back to 4th now on the practice sheet. It's Dixon, Tommy Bordeaux, Longdeau, Hazard, and Ingram, the top 5 right now. Oh, Mikey going around. We're just going to kind of let Davey set the scene here, and we'll check back in here shortly.
Los Angeles football program.
Yeah.
Honestly, every team should be called a football club.
That's what I've been saying.
Back here at Fast 29, watching practice here for the USORL AlphaTauri Cup Series. Watching Tommy Bordeaux as he ducks into the pits. Noah Joyce has been drifting around this track for several laps. Long Doe and the Amico machine. Going around goes Noah coming down the hill. So another little fun thing is we decided to put me behind the wheel of the 29 Centos machine since I haven't been running Cup this season. That's going to be kind of our test car, show you around the track type deal. So here is the ride-along. Okay, here we go down off the front straightaway of Trois Riviere going into turn one. It's a very flat first corner. First gear, basically from here to the back straightaway. City courses like this, it's very flat corners. You've got to be on your toes on every one of them. Coming into this corner, it goes downhill halfway through it. It wants to make the car shoot out to the right. Down the hill into this corner, it's very deceiving how quickly you get down that hill with that speed. And then you come right back up the hill to the longest straightaway on the track. You'll get up to third gear about halfway down it. About 150 mile an hour if the gearing's right, which mine wasn't. You'll dive down into this corner. Again, you don't want to overshoot this one. You'll end up in that runoff area. Into the left-hander, you'll come off of it, right up against the right side of the track. You'll want to drift a little bit further to the left than what I did here going into this next corner because this corner is very deceiving too. Halfway down it, you got to hit the brakes. You don't want to get loose like I did and get into the left-hand corner. You want to get a little bit wider than I did too to the grass. Off into the next corner, another flat, deceiving corner, how quickly you get in there. Off that corner, down a little short straightaway, the final set of corners to the right, and then a quick back left. You want to clip this curve to straighten this front straightaway out as long as you can so you can get back on the gas, back to the start-finish line as quickly as you can. That's a lap around Trois Riviere. Well, we won't talk about that lap time, because that would be about 14th on the board right now. So clearly road course is not my forte, but this is a fun little track to drive around. See, I ran it was a 110.1, and slowest right now it's a 113.083 by last week's winner Garrett Sidnor. So I'm right behind Antonio Ruiz. Yeah, that's why I'm not racing in this, gentlemen. See who's on the track here. There's the challenger of Michael Marotta. I like the MWR/DDI look to that car. That's pretty cool. On a Dodge, that's kind of ironic across the board. Whoop. Just about Denny Hamlin it in turn one. A lot of the guys are reporting gearing issues. They haven't quite figured out exactly what kind of gearing they're looking for. Noah Joyce reporting his gearing is a little bit sluggish. That was kind of what I was feeling in my test run there, but of course I didn't actually try it with with a true racing setup. I was just kind of getting the feel for the track. So I think most of these guys are trying to run this place in second gear. I ran it mostly in first. Follow the Lycos Camry of Dewey Schramm around the track. He's right now in 10th. There's our in-race reporter, the Devotion Ford Fusion of Daniel Asher. He's currently 14th on the board. He must have my setup loaded in because he's about 0.6 off of what I ran. So they're basically using the fourth gear as an overdrive because they're going to try and run it in third gear unless reliability becomes an issue later on. In third gear, you've still got a backup in fourth gear. A pretty smart idea. Most of these guys don't have clutches. I wouldn't say most, but majority of them probably don't shift with the clutch. So that causes more of a possibility that you may blow a gear. Of course, NR might decide to just throw you a curve and blow you a gear anyway. Kind of like what happened to me last night in the ARCA race when I blew second. No, I blew first last night. I'll get it right. But either way, I blew a gear last night. That was pretty important. So Hongdo right now currently at the top of the practice sheet at a 103.9. Tom Bordeaux at a 104.4. Jeff Dixon at a 104.49. Darren Ingram with a 104.7. And Davey Hazard with a 104.8. That's your top five right now. There's Hazard. Oh, got a little bit too friendly with the gas off the final corner. There's Zach Webster, the other Devotion machine. Davey just destroyed it in the first corner. That corner right there at the top of the hill is... These two corners right here are probably going to be our trouble spots for the evening. It's just a Coke. Diet caffeine free. Sean Whitehill in the Cincinnati Toyota Camry. Let's go ahead and take a spin around the track to get to know all the schemes this evening. There's a Cincinnati number 45 Camry of Sean Whitehill. Number 14 of Jeff Dixon. That was that Skittles machine I was trying to figure out earlier. Of course, you've seen Zach Webster's 95. Behind him is Dan Asher's 26. Basically a reverse. There's Huang Do's Amico 01. There's Darren Ingram's number 3 Valvoline machine. There's Davey Hazard's 75. In front of him is Dewey Schramm, the Lycos 36, as Darren destroys it in turn 1. See Mikey Marota's 8 car in front. The Napa car. There's the 00 of Henrietta Bordeaux, following Zach Krastowski in the 4. There he is. Oh, Hong. They all kind of destroyed it in turn 1. Last week's winner, Garrett Sidnor in the 16. Crunchyroll Toyota. Noah Joyce Delphi Chevy, 31. There's Ryan Pace's 15. Remember that from last week? There it is. I think he's about the only one that's running the same scheme as last week. There's the 32 of DJ Harris, the Kidney Foundation Camaro, excuse me. Anybody else we've missed here? Got another new one here that's joined the party. Here's the number 12 of Cam Barnes. Last week's almost winner. Tire Pros Ford Mustang. Good looking ride. Boy, look at him lift that left front up going through that corner. Oh, round goes Webster. There we go. Everybody else missed him. Thankfully, I couldn't get back there in time to see what happened. He hangs on to it. Oh, we have some issues. Let's take a look and see what happened there. Because that was pretty interesting. There's Cam Barnes coming down the long straightaway, and he comes in that corner and it just doesn't turn, so he just ends up coming down here into the runoff. And Huang Do says, "Hey, how are you?" Back to live action here. we're just going to sit here and watch them come around the long straightaway. This track has names for these specific areas, but I can't remember them off the top of my head, and I might pull up a track map later to point them out to you, but you guys probably couldn't figure them out either or remember them, so we're just going to say this corner, this straightaway. About 14 minutes left in practice. We're going to try to put up a countdown timer for the next broadcast so you'll know how much time is left in practice. Looks like a few of the guys are starting to try to run Q laps now. Longdo's still at the top with that 103.9. Davey Hazard's moved up to second with a 104.3. Tommy Bordeaux at a 104.4. I think everybody else is pretty well where they were. I think the biggest move was Davey up to second. DJ Harris is now sixth with a 105.3. That's a pretty big jump for him in the 32. About 10 minutes left in practice. Getting down to it here. Crunch time here in practice before qualifying, about 6 minutes. So one procedural thing that has come up. Let's see if we can find somebody that's getting close to it here. So coming through the final corner here, we'll follow Zach Krastowski through it. We pointed out in the ride-along, but right here, you can get 2 wheels to the left of that curb. That's the furthest out that you can go. So we'll be watching that closely throughout the evening. Obviously, the aggressive guys in this series will try to push that as much as they can. So if they get 4 wheels in the green area off to the side of the curb, that'll be a penalty, probably a stop right there. I don't know if there'll be an actual timed penalty on that or not, but at least a stop and go. About 20 seconds left in practice, and then we'll have the minute of downtime until qualifying starts. So a little insider information about the winner from last week. We'll see if we can find the 16 here. We've got a unique, well, it looks like the 16 may not be on the track right now, but Garrett Sidnor is running this evening with, he's normally a keyboard-only racer, but tonight he is running with the keyboard for steering, and he will be using pedals for gas and brake. We'll follow that strategy as the night goes on. About 10 seconds before qualifying starts. All right, qualifying is about to begin, so we will step aside. We'll let Metallica jump in real quick there. We'll be right back. right, back here at Fast 29, USORL Action AlphaTauri Cup Series from Trois Rivières. We've got DJ Harris on the pole for this evening's race. A little bit of a surprise in qualifying, a 104.5. And we'll get the rest of that rundown here in just a second. All right, here we are back at the Fast 29 studio. Chris Pickett here with you, the USORL AlphaTauri Cup Series action at Trois Rivières. I will eventually get that French right, but maybe not, so we'll see what happens. We got a little bit of a surprise here for you this evening. Daniel Asher, he's going to be in our in-race reporter role this evening, so we're excited to have him along for the ride tonight. Dan, good evening, and looking like this track is a little bit slick this evening for a lot of guys, you especially. What do you think? How's this track going to go for tonight for you? We thought we had Dan. Maybe we don't have Dan yet. Hang on just a second here. All right, let's see if we've got Dan now. Dan, can you hear us? One more time. Dan Asher, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
There's Daniel Asher. Good to hear from you this evening, buddy. Driver of the 26 Devotion Ford Fusion this evening for us. In the in-race reporter role, hopefully we won't talk to you too much during cautions tonight, but you know how these guys race. So what do you think about the track tonight? What are your chances?
My chances are absolutely zero unless everyone wrecks. But yeah, for a street course, it's actually pretty fun to drive. I can't stand street courses, so the goal tonight's just to log laps, don't be in any accidents, not finish last.
Well, you're guaranteed not to finish last in the standings because my car's in there and the ticker cars is in there. So you're not going to finish totally last, so that's good. But we're looking forward to having some great feedback from you this evening. Like I said, hopefully there won't be too many cautions to have to talk to you, but these guys can get aggressive at times. We've seen a lot of spin-outs, a lot of guys wearing the rear tires off during practice, and we'll kind of see how this goes. So we're excited to have you aboard tonight, buddy.
Happy to be aboard.
All right, we'll be talking to Daniel here off and on during the course of the evening. We're going to switch him back over to where he can start preparing for tonight's race, and we'll be right back with you here on Fast 29. All right, back with you here at Fast 29. Happy hour continuing. We'll go back and do a quick rundown of the qualifying lineup. We kind of started it, and then we had a little issue there talking to Dan. So here's what we've got. DJ Harris, a surprise pole winner this evening with a 104.5. Tommy Bordeaux in second on the front row with a 104.7. Darren Ingram, third with a 104.8. Noah Joyce with a 105.5. And Cam Barnes rounds out the top 5 with a 105.6. The rest of the top 10, Zach Webster, Zach Krastowski, Sean Whitehill, Ryan Pace, Dewey Schramm, and Henrietta Bordeaux with the last one that actually ran a qualifying run. The rest of the field looks like this. Jeff Dixon, Michael Marotta, Antonio Ruiz, Dan Asher, Davey Hazard, Huang Do, and Garrett Sidnor. have a little joke with the guys here as we look forward to the race here this evening. And close. 9 minutes left in happy hour. Final preparations for this race at Trois Rivières. One thing that I will definitely be investing in at a later time will be a second wireless mouse for the laptop. Make a note, somebody. Well, Garrett Sidnor with the, I guess the best way to put it, the not so normal approach, is in second place on the practice sheet at the moment with a 105.8 with the keyboard and pedals combo cockpit this evening. Quite unorthodox, but right now seems to be working at the moment. All right, so quick information from the drivers' meeting. This is a 50-lap race this evening. So theoretically a one-stop race for the leaders. The one big procedural change this evening is the final corner, which I think Mr. Sidnor here is about to come up to it here shortly, is the runoff area in the final turn. We're coming up to it now. Hopefully he makes it there. There we go. So right here, that green area to the left of the curbing, you can run 2 tires off into that green area, but no more than that. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that this evening, and hopefully the guys don't get too aggressive and cost them a race, because they'll have to stop and give up any positions that they gained by doing that. We'll have to kind of see how they police the if you get forced off or something like that as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that this evening. Got 3 minutes left here in happy hour. So Garrett Sidnor, we've been talking about how he's running with a keyboard pedal combination, and we just got some information in that he's basically a Kenny Schrader. He's fast in anything he gets into here. He almost won an iRacing race yesterday with the same setup, so that takes some talent there. So I can't even run an iRacing race. Well, I can't run one anyway because I don't have the setup, but I couldn't compete with those guys at all. So more power to you, Mr. Sidnor, as we follow him around the track. Really close to game time here, everybody. About 2.5 minutes left. Looks like our in-race reporter Daniel Asher has picked up the pace a little bit. He's about 2 seconds faster than he was in the first practice. I think it's going to be interesting watching Huang Do come up from the back of the pack. He was fast in both practice sessions but didn't run a Q lap, so he'll be coming from the back. We'll have to see how that 01 gets up through this field. It's a very tight track. Not very many places pass unless you have somebody kind of get in trouble in front of you, which I believe that's what just happened in front of Garrett here. Yep, and he's going to call it a practice session, I believe, as well. Got about a minute left, so we're getting really close to game time. To end this session, so we're about to get this show on the road. Blake, let's get it going.
Guess we got a little off track, but love knows a way back through the storms and pouring rain. Got my hands on the wheel and I'm flying. Heartbeat loud as the thunder rolls, riding in on a stampede of lightning. Oh, I'm bringing back the sunshine, bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Bring it back. Oh, yeah.
All right, welcome to the Fast 29 coverage of the USORL AlphaTauri Cup Series racing. We are getting ready to go green. Let's join them. There's your front row, DJ Harris and Tommy Bordeaux. "50 laps here at Trois Rivières in Quebec, Canada." All right, they're beginning to roll out. All right, we're getting ready to go green. We're going to watch this first corner closely. Here we go. Trois Rivières for the USORL AlphaTauri Cup Series is green. Here we go. Tommy Bordeaux gets a pretty good jump going into turn one. He's going to try to chop down in front of Harris. And he pulls away with the lead off of turn one. I'm not going to be much help to what numbers we're going to be in as far as corners go, as we got one locking up at the top of the hill, but we're good. Coming down the long straightaway, Tommy Bordeaux pulls away by about 6 car lengths. DJ Harris in second. Noah Joyce under attack from Darren Ingram down that straightaway for third. They woe it down into this corner here. Zach Webster also looking to see if he can get by Noah Joyce as well. Oh, Noah's around in that corner. That's going to put him back. And he's stuck right there. Unfortunate. There's Antonio Ruiz also off in that same corner. Well, don't hit him. There we go. Back out front. Tommy Bordeaux leads the first lap. Harris still sitting there in second. Ingram in third. Already squalling those tires up and over that hill. This is what they were kind of struggling with in the Lights series as well on Monday night. We didn't broadcast that, but we heard that they were having some issues with the grip around this place. Still trying to figure that out. Drop back and take a look at the battle for fourth here. Oh, as Ryan Pace catches the wall. Looks like everybody's trying to use that extra runoff area off that corner. Cam Barnes taking a look to the inside of Zach Webster. He gets by him. Webster basically let him go through that corner. Again, that green area, you can get 2 tires on it, but don't get any more than that. Big pack coming down the front straightaway here. There's Dewey Schramm. Trying to run about 3 wide down into that first corner there. best battle on the track right here is Sidnor with the key pedal cockpit machine right there in the 16. Taking a look at Hong Do. Remember, he was the fastest in both practice sessions. He's gotten it up to 7th at this point, so he's already halfway through the field. We'll keep an eye on that Amoco Camry and see how quickly he can get up there. But so far, after 2 laps, he's definitely jumped up there quickly. Here's Tommy Bordeaux back out front. He's holding about a 3-second advantage over DJ Harris at the moment. Again, this long straightaway right here, you want to be in just the right position to get into this corner off of it, so you can maximize the speed down this next straightaway. This is a 50-lap race. They accidentally forgot to put in any laps for any potential green-white checkers, so we have our fingers crossed that we won't have that issue this evening. Lights race did run caution-free on Monday night, so we're hopeful that that might be the same situation here this evening. Oh, we got Dewey around on the front straightaway. Dewey Schramm. He's going to drop back a few positions. Looks like that Lyco's machine is no more the worse for wear, and he'll continue. We'll take a look and see how he got loose through that corner. Oh, he just catches the curb there and catches the inside curb. Oh, we've got an issue on the track right now. Garrett Sidnor has got an issue. Oh, no, it wasn't. It wasn't him. Oh, this is going to be a big disappointment here. It's Huang Do. Zach Webster came up to the inside of him coming into this corner right here. Let's take a look. Here we go. Into the turn off that long straightaway. Webster got underneath Huang Do and just locked it up. Took them both around. Also an engine failure potentially as well for Ryan Pace, I believe. But unfortunate for Huang Do, who, like we said, had one of, if not the strongest cars here, gets taken out. Not on purpose. Zach just got a little bit hot into that corner and locked it up. But disappointing for the Amoco machine. Back to live action. Noah Joyce just caught the wall. Oh, Michael Marotta off in the same corner there behind him. Noah Joyce had just spun coming into that corner as well. Dewey Schramm, woo, that was close. And he's off, but didn't gain anything. Keeps on going. A lot of action around this road course this evening already. There's Pace. Oh, Garrett Sidnor around at the top of the hill here. Let's see if he can get back going. There's Mikey Marotta coming around. He should be clear after that, and there he goes. Again, that was one of the trouble spots that we mentioned earlier that could be, especially if you get loose there, that's a bad place to have a stalled machine. But thankfully everybody paid attention and kept on rolling. Here's our in-race reporter, Dan Asher. He's currently sitting in unlucky 13th, but still solid. He said he was just looking to keep the car going and pick up spots as other people make mistakes, and so far so good. Jump back up front here. There's the leader, Tommy Bordeaux. He's continued to pull it out. He's the length of this straightaway ahead of Darren Ingram now, who's gotten past. Not for sure exactly what's happened to DJ Harris here. Oh, he's the one that blew up. While we were looking at replays, we heard somebody come over the radio saying that there was an issue with an engine, and it was DJ Harris, not Garrett Sidnor. So my apologies for getting their voices incorrect there. But the 32, the pole sitter, unfortunately out early this evening. Tommy Bordeaux has pulled it out to a 7-second lead with Harris's DNF. There's Ingram, and there's Hazard. Then another large gap back to Rostowski. That 15 is a lap down, Ryan Pace. And then Cam Barnes. He's the one in fourth, along with Jeff Dixon in fifth. Antonio Ruiz off in the last corner, just letting the leader go by. So now we need to start thinking about strategy for the leaders. So this is a 50-lap race. Theoretically, you can just chop this thing in half and pit at lap 25 and go ahead and call it a day. Or you might short pit. Go ahead and get gas when you know you can make it to the finish. Hadn't really heard anything about gas mileage as far as what these guys are getting. But if you can make it 25 laps, you can one-stop this thing. Bordeaux's closing up on each other here. And there it gives him plenty of room on the outside there. Nicely done. So we'll drop back and see what kind of battles we've got here as Dixon is closed up on Strzykowski. Here he comes to the inside. And now the outside in this next corner. I think Strzykowski's going to let him go, and he does. So he's really using a lot of brake getting into these corners. And a lot of gas coming off. Now Sean White with a lot of damage there. He must have caught a tire wall at some point. There's Wong Do. A little off the pace, I believe. Looks like he's gotten it back going. So back up front, there's your leader once again, the TWB Camry of Tommy Bordeaux. Noah Joyce in the pits. Sounds like he had an off. We'll go back and take a look and see exactly what happened there. Oh, he had a big off. The same corner he had an issue with at the start of the race. Here he is. Zach Webster kind of locks it up a little bit in front of him. Joyce gets in there a little hot. Around it goes, and he's going to catch this wall, and watch this. up and over for the 31 Delphi machine. And Whitehill behind him does an incredible job of staying away from him on that one. There is Joyce. This is live. Still sitting in the pits right now. A lot of the guys already reporting tire wear issues already. We're 13 laps into this show. And a couple of the guys are reporting they're in the yellow. But we're still green here at Trois Riviere. I don't really know how you pronounce this track, but we're just going to go with that. Three Rivers, whatever I call it. Battle for second starting to tighten up a little bit here as Ingram has got a mirror full of Davey Hazard. Hazard slips a little wide as they close up on Daniel Asher. Noah Joyce saying his car is pretty well done, unfortunately. Can't quite get it out of third gear. So, unfortunate for the 31. This battle for second starting to really heat up now. Hazard takes a look to the inside. And he's got it, but can Ingram perform the crossover? Not quite. So Hazard takes over second place. So several seconds behind Tommy Bordeaux, who's leading by about 8 or so seconds. Cam Barnes, top 5 for him. Jeff Dixon just in front. Everybody kind of spread out now throughout the field now after that battle for second has kind of broke off now as Hazard's gotten by Ingram. Everybody else pretty well spread out throughout the pack. Top 10 still on the lead lap. Tommy Bordeaux, Hazard, Ingram, Dixon, and Barnes in top 5. Huang Do still sitting there in 6th, but he's got a lot of damage. He's about 12 seconds back from the top 5. Zach Webster, Sean Whitehill, Signor, and Schramm, the top 10. That's the cars that are on the lead lap. There's Huang Do running 6th. I believe he is closing in slightly on Barnes now. But again, Barnes is about 10 or so seconds ahead of him. That's actually Joyce that's up there directly in front of him along with Krasowski. They're both off the lead lap. Joyce is 2 laps down in 17th. Krasowski is 13th a lap down. Go ahead and take a look at our in-race reporter, Daniel Asher. Here he comes, sitting 12th a lap down at the moment, but doing a pretty good job. Here's his onboard. Not sure why it says practice up there in the corner. We'll get that fixed real quick. There we go. We'll follow Daniel around for a lap. Yeah, maybe a half a lap. We don't want to embarrass him too much. This is that tricky corner there at the bottom of the hill, but he gets through it very nicely and heads up the hill onto that long straightaway. Like Davey Hazard and Ingram, that battle's starting to tighten up again. Hop back up here, battle for second. Here's on board with Ingram. That final corner. Not everybody really taking advantage of the 2 wheels over the curb rule there, but it's just not quite. I mean, you got to really slide out wide there to make that work, and that'll probably make you lose too much time. So it's more of a when you're battling someone is when that's going to become a factor. As he gets it loose off that corner coming up the hill. See if Ingram can come up and take advantage, but it doesn't really look like he can get up there to him. They come up on Dewey Schramm. Might make things a little interesting here. He just goes wide, gives him plenty of room. Guys starting to discuss pit road speed, so we might be looking at pit stops coming up here shortly. We're 19 laps in, so we're getting close to that window. Ingram locked it up a little bit behind Hazard there. We're watching this battle because Tommy Bordeaux has just taken off and hidden. He's 8.3 seconds up on Davey Hazard in the 75. Hazard gets it loose a little bit, but Ingram overshot it a little bit, so they pretty much even out. It's like Hazard with that slide off got a little bit more drive off than Ingram did when he drove it in a little bit too deep. Lap times have not fallen off considerably for the top 2 or 3. We'll jump up here real quick. As Tommy Bordeaux, actually, he's in the pits right now. He fell off about a second from his fastest, but he's in the pits. So that'll hand the lead over to Davey Hazard. So we'll jump back up to this is now the battle for the lead. And we'll see how this shakes out as pit stops come through. Great battle here for now the lead. Like these two guys are pretty evenly matched. And here comes Hazard into the pits. That'll hand the lead over to Ingram. Probably expect Ingram to come in next time by. Dropping back through the field here. Krasowski off the first corner there, getting a little wobbly. We're just kind of dropping back to the field, just kind of seeing how everybody's doing here. Everybody's pretty well spread out. Once again, here's your leader, the 3 Valvoline Chevy Camaro of Darren Ingram. Everybody else is pretty well separated by at least 4 to 5 seconds. Ingram leads Dixon. Tommy Bordeaux is in third at the moment. Cam Barnes and Hazard the top 5. But right now the 3, the 14, and the 12 have not pitted yet. The 57 has, so fully assume Tommy Bordeaux to retake the lead, and probably by quite a substantial margin if this thing stays green through the entire cycle. 8 cars currently on the lead lap. The rest of the top 8 are Huang Do, Garrett Sidnor, and Sean Whitehill. Top 10 is also Zach Webster and Dewey Schramm. As Ingram ducks into the pits, we'll see if Dixon stays out another lap or if he follows him in. There's Bordeaux. Actually, we're looking for Dixon. I'm not for sure where he... Oh, Bordeaux actually got by Dixon. So Bordeaux is actually in second. So that's going to become a moot point as Bordeaux is now going to retake the top spot. And again, the 14 of Jeff Dixon right behind him has to pit. So if this stays green, Bordeaux is going to have a sizable advantage. Hazard is 26.6 seconds back in 5th. He has pitted. So that's about the gap we're looking at as Ingram comes off the pit lane. We'll see where he cycles out. Looks like he will cycle out in 5th. So that's going to... He lost a lot of ground in that. He's about 6 seconds behind Hazard, and they were battling before these pit stops. So it's going to cycle back around, it looks like, to where Bordeaux is going to have about the same distance that he had before the pit stops. Hazard's about 9 seconds back. And as this lap continues, Dixon is definitely falling way off of Bordeaux's pace. He's staying out one more lap at least. Hearing that the 12 of Cam Barnes will be pitting this time by, so that'll drop him out of 4th. Still waiting on the 14 to pit, and that should be pretty close to the full cycle at that point. At least I'm on the top 5. Yeah, it looks like Dixon has come into the pits, so that cycles around the top 5 now. 16 also pitting of Garrett Sidnor. So the battle at the front remains Bordeaux with Hazard about 9 seconds back now in second. We're going to jump back up front here. There's Tommy Bordeaux. Need to get him some TV time because he is flat dominating this race right now. Bordeaux leads, but Stram lets Hazard go. There's Hazard in second. There's Darren Ingram in third. Cam Barnes in fourth. And Jeff Dixon in fifth. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Fast 29 here at Trois Rivières. We've got about 22 laps left in this race this evening. About 22 laps to go here. DJ Harris, do you have us? DJ Harris, do you read us?
Yes, sir, I do.
There we are, DJ. Pole sitter this evening. Unfortunately, it sounds like things came up a little bit short this evening. What happened out there, buddy?
Yeah, had a fast car, practice qualifying, and went into the race, fell behind Tommy there after the first couple corners, and just kind of trying to conserve my tires a bit, and ended up blowing a header near coming up to lap 6, so right in front of Darren too, so held him up a bit, but yeah, kind of tough.
Yeah, disappointing. I know you guys, that was kind of a surprise pole run that you had there. It was, that looked good there for a bit, but unfortunate to see you out tonight.
Yeah, it was a shock pole for myself too, but it was also a lot of a confidence booster too, and for a great cause, the Kidney Foundation of Canada. My dad being a kidney transplant recipient, and his name's on the car, and the foundation's on the car as well, and I running a small little fundraiser for it and raised about $130 for it. So yeah, it's a win. Might not be a win on the track, but definitely a win for everyone, and just so.
No, that's great. That's the great cause there with the Kidney Foundation. Glad you gave him a shout out there, man. And tough luck. Great pole, but tough luck for the evening. And how's the track out there tonight? Looks like a lot of guys are kind of slipping and sliding, especially off the corners.
Yeah, the track is fast, but it's also slippery. Monday night we were slipping around. I was kind of overdriving the car. Tonight I tightened up the setup that Darren helped me out with, and still sliding the car. That's just me overdriving it. But yeah, so it's a little bit slippery out there, but it's makes for a lot of fun, and makes you have to try and save your stuff that little bit more. Yeah,
absolutely. I ran a couple of laps of this myself, and not in the greatest of equipment, but it looked like it was going to be a lot of fun out there. But hate to see you out, but thanks for taking time to talk to us tonight.
Thanks, Tris. Appreciate it.
Thank you. DJ Harris, driver of the 32 Kidney Foundation car, out pole sitter, but out early, unfortunately. So we continue to watch Jeff Dixon go around the track here. He's sitting in fourth in the Skittles machine. We'll jump back up more toward the front of the field once again. There's your leader, Tommy Bordeaux. He's come up on Huang Do to put him, I believe he's still on the lead lap, potentially. Yes, he's in the last car on the lead lap. Oh, and Darren Ingram has dropped out while we were talking to DJ. The third place runner dropped out with an ignition failure. Unfortunate for the 3 car. We'll see if we can get a word with him. I don't know if he'll want to talk after that. He was having a great evening. I don't think anybody can touch this 57, but the 3 was a pretty strong machine tonight. Big disappointment there. There's your second place driver, Davey Hazard. Davey is the only one within a minute of the leader right now. Cam Barnes is sitting in third, a minute back. Jeff Dixon a little over a minute back in fourth. And like I said, Huang Do, he is basically a lap down right in front of the leader there. Bordeaux tries to get alongside to put him that full lap down. Doe locks it up right in front of the leader. That might give him an opportunity. Well, Tommy might have saw that and backed off a little bit. Again, he locks it up. Looks like, unfortunately, Darren has left the track, unfortunately, so we're unable to speak with him. But unfortunate, he's had multiple random failures in the last several races that have taken him out, unfortunately. And again, tonight is no exception, as NR has decided to break his ignition this evening. Bordeaux's going to be starting to battle some traffic. Oh, he's pitting now. So evidently this will be a 2-stop race. I think he might just be wanting to just stay out of the traffic and just ride this thing home. So that should hand the lead around to Davey Hazard. There he is. The Martini Camaro, or the Martini Camry, excuse me. So see how this shakes out. Not for sure if Hazard's going to be pitting really anytime soon, because that was a little bit unexpected. These guys would be pitting again. I guess they stretched that first one, and now they're just going to be in a window to where they'll make it to the end now. Noah Joyce checking to see if he's got enough fuel to get to the end, and he does, so he's good to go. Of course, that being said, he's 3 laps down in 13th. Picking up the battle for third. Barnes and Dixon. Dixon kind of fell off of Barnes there a little bit. Barnes had a little bit better first corner there. He's on board with Dixon. Closes up a little bit coming up the hill on Barnes. We'll see if he has enough of a run to get by. He will have a big run down this straightaway. Here comes Dixon to the inside for third. And Barnes just lets him go. It's the best battle on the track right here. Go back there. Third in line. He's fifth. So these three cars all battling for third. And you really wonder where that 0-1 would be right now if he hadn't had that spin earlier with Zach Webster. He is a full minute behind the leader, but you consider the fact that if he hadn't lost however much time it was to get his car back in the right position and back going, he would probably be right there with the leaders. He's got a very fast machine. In fact, let's drop back and see. He's got, he's roughly within sight of Tommy Bordeaux's fastest lap. His fastest lap was a 104.5, and Long Do ran a 105.0. So roughly about a half a second off, but pace being what it is, he would be right there. As these three cars continue to try and battle for third. There's the leader also right behind him. Davies closing in on him. Still this battle, the best one on the track here. Not missing anything up front, which really is behind you. I think actually Hazard may have already just pitted. Yes, he has. So that hands the lead back over to Tommy Bordeaux. Hazard goes into the pits. We'll see where he cycles out. Probably will still be in second. Let's see if we can catch a word with Darren Ingram here. So as things are settled here for the moment, we'll be right back. back here at Trois Riviere in the Cup Series for the USORL. About 11 laps to go. Darren Ingram, the driver of the 3 car this evening, unfortunately ran into some more bad luck this evening. Darren, how was your run going up to that point?
I thought we were sitting pretty. Car felt really good. Had just enough gas to make it there at the end. I was kind of saving a little bit of gas, and I thought we were in a good spot to win it. Unfortunately, the car said no.
It seems like that's just been your luck the last several races, not just in the Cup Series, but across the board in the USORL.
Yeah, it's been a rough stretch. It's kind of demoralizing having winning your top 5 speed and just not having the results to show for it. That's 3 Cup races in a row. I thought we had a really good shot to win, and the car just didn't make it to the end there. So. You gotta have the valleys to have the peaks. So hopefully the luck turns around soon.
Absolutely, we hope that for you too as well, Darren. We appreciate you coming on. How's the track tonight as well? It looked like you and Davey were having a heck of a battle there for second there for a while. It looked like the 57 though was gone.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's tight, but there's still room to race. It feels really quick. You got to maximize the track. You got to just maximize the track and try to get as close to those walls and those apexes as you can. It's really fun. You got some long braking zones. You got some shorter braking zones. It's a really fun track. And once you get in the flow there, I mean, me and Dave, while we were battling there side by side, I was setting personal bests every lap. Like we were just getting faster and faster. It was really fun. I hate that we didn't get the whole 50 laps in for that 3 car.
Definitely looked like you guys were kind of pushing each other to get better as you guys went on. So it was nice watching it, but just unfortunate you guys were out.
Yeah, hopefully we'll just have better luck next week in Atlanta. I love Atlanta. I love those 1.5 miles. So we'll bring the Texas setup over, and we'll start there and see how it goes.
Sounds good, Darren. We appreciate your time tonight. Hope the luck gets better, and we'll see you at Atlanta, buddy.
Thanks, boss man.
Darren Ingram, driver of number 3 car tonight. As we continue to watch Jeff Dixon rolling around the track in 3rd position. Head back up to the front here as Tommy Bordeaux, once again, just flat dominating this race this evening. Seven laps to go. Race has gone by pretty quickly here. Battle for 4th is starting to heat up just a slight bit as Huang Do and Cam Barnes. Do has finally gotten by Barnes. But Barnes definitely keeping up with him. And you see that mean blue number 57 closing up on this battle. I think Tommy's just content to kind of ride right there. Just let these guys battle for whatever they can get. And he'll just ride right there. He's still got an 11-second lead over Davey Hazard. Hong locked it up going into that corner. Barnes can't quite take advantage quite yet. Looking rearward out of the back of Wang Do's car. Barnes closes up. But Do pulls him off the corner. That's where Hong's been very strong, is on the straightaways, as Bordeaux comes to the inside of Barnes to take over, to finally put him a lap down. It's like a few of these guys are going to try to make it on fuel. We're hearing some not so much motor running going into some of these corners, especially at the end of the straightaways. But again, Bordeaux has pitted, so that's a moot point for him. And it's probably going to end up being, barring any type of calamity, that's probably going to be the winning strategy. Ooh, Do taking the line away from Bordeaux, but that's going to push him out wide as Do tries to stay on the lead lap. Bordeaux comes to the inside. Barnes catches the wall behind him. Bordeaux can't quite get there yet, but he needs to be patient with this. Here he comes to the outside. Do's going to have to let him go. Coming down this long straightaway. He's battled as much as he can. But he's not making it easy on the 57. Crowds him toward the wall. And he makes the pass. Wish that was a battle for position there, as Do locks it up again. This is just for the for the 01 to try and stay on the lead lap. Four laps to go. Bordeaux still leads Davey Hazard by 8 seconds now. Davey's closed the gap by about a second with that battling that Bordeaux had to do to get through that lap traffic. The third place runner, Jeff Dixon, in front of Bordeaux now. Bordeaux's not quite going to lap the field, but he's going to get close. Hearing that there may be some guys that might be close on fuel now. We're hearing the 12 car, Cam Barnes, might be close. They're within about a lap, so this could get interesting for those. Once again, it's Tommy Bordeaux pitted, so it shouldn't be a problem for him, but those that are in the top 5 right now are going to be very close. These guys aren't on the lead lap, but you're also looking at, top 5s, points. You want to stay in this championship fight if you're running full time. And these guys through here, they don't want to run out of gas. Noah Joyce reporting the engine has finally let go in the 31, so that's both NCM machines out with engine problems. Of course, Noah had all kinds of issues tonight with the wreck earlier and basically just trying to nurse it home after losing a gear as well. Two laps to go for Tommy Bordeaux. We'll stay right here. Great run tonight for this TWB machine. Not entirely surprising, but it's still impressive when he does it. Hazard has closed it up another full second, but again, I think Bordeaux's just kind of pacing himself here. White flag in the air. One more lap to go. Bordeaux's just been so smooth all night long. Nobody's been anywhere near him except right at the very start when he took over for DJ Harris on the start. No real challenges except coming through lap traffic, basically. Down the long straightaway for the final time. He can pretty well coast it home from here. He's got a 6.8 second advantage over Davey Hazard. No one else on the same lap. Wang Do may be running out of gas. We'll check that in just a moment. But here comes the dominator this evening, the 57 TWB Toyota Camry of Tommy Bordeaux. He takes Trois Rivières. Davey Hazard. There he is. He's second. Wang Do is out of fuel. So Dixon gets third. Cam Barnes grabs fourth, and here is Doe, and he's going to make it to the line for fifth. Great run this evening here for the USRL AlphaTauri Cup Series at Trois Rivières. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, welcome back to the USORL AlphaTauri Cup Series here at Trois Rivières. Tommy Bordeaux gets the win this evening. Here's his celebration on the front straightaway. Great run for that 57 Toyota Camry this evening. We're going to see if we can get a couple of interviews here before we sign off this evening from Tommy Bordeaux and Davey Hazard. We'll also speak with our in-race reporter that didn't get a chance to speak during the race, Daniel Asher. We might throw in a third random one as well, since Jeff Dixon unfortunately won't be able to speak to us this evening. Be right back. Great racing this evening tonight for the USORL AlphaTauri Cup Series here at Trois Rivières. Tommy Bordeaux with the dominant win this evening. We're going to see if we can get a word with him real quick. Tommy Bordeaux, Chris Pickett in the Fast 29 booth. Can you read us?
Howdy, Chris. I got you loud and clear.
All righty, buddy. You pretty much dominated this thing this evening. Tell us about your run.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris. We had a great car here. The TWB Technologies Toyota Camry was fast as ever. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to road courses and street courses, this has got to be one of my favorites already. It's just such a, I don't know, it's a technical track, but it's still fast at sections, but it's simple but yet complex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a fine wine. And I don't know, it's pretty fun to win here. My ancestors way back in the day, generations upon generations of Bordeaux ago, came to this city over from France. So it's kind of interesting to actually kind of win here, albeit in a sim race, but it's a cool little thing to do nonetheless.
Almost like a way back home track for you a little bit.
It's just a little bit.
Tell us about the track, though. You said it was kind of technical. A lot of slipping and sliding going on, even for you. And we noticed a lot of guys having a lot of wheel spin off the corners, a lot of locking up going into the corners. And that seemed to be something they kind of try to dial out over the course of the week with the lights race on Monday night. How did that affect your strategy?
Yeah, certainly, Chris. When it comes to locking up, that's probably one of the biggest issues that I think anyone's going to face around here. Making sure to maximize your braking without locking up. I mean, that right there is a key to a lot of time, because you're going to lose a lot on entry if you're, braking too early and too conservative, or, too late and you're locking up. So that's one of the sections you got to get nailed down. And the other, like you said, is slipping and sliding on an exit. Putting the power down in a big, heavy stock car is difficult anywhere. But up here, something about these roads, Chris, just a little bit more slipperier than the rest. And that was something to contend with. A lot of corners are coming out 90 degrees in first gear as well. So that definitely applies to it as to the difficulty as well. So definitely a difficult challenge, but I think everyone, from what I saw, did a pretty okay job keeping it between the walls and not in them for the most part. So
it was a very clean race overall. There was just a couple of small little spins here and there, and one flip, but other than that, it was a pretty clean race. But we definitely enjoyed watching you pretty well just dominate this thing tonight. What'd you think about going through that lap traffic there toward the end? Huang Do kind of gave you a run for the money there at a couple times, trying to stay on the lead lap there toward the end.
Yeah, not super fun. I didn't really appreciate it. I mean, it's like, whatever. But, president has been set, I suppose, the phrases. So, but no, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it wasn't going to affect me too much. I came out, luckily, pretty far ahead of Davey. I was always worried about whether or not I was taking it too slow in pit lane, because, I just didn't want a speeding penalty, because that would have been it,
Yes.
But, yeah, luckily I got a good enough gap that it didn't affect me too much, but I don't know. We'll see. There's plenty of races left in the season, not a big deal.
Still early, absolutely. Well, Tommy Bordeaux, great run tonight for the 57 machine. We appreciate your time tonight, and we'll see you next week at Atlanta.
Oh, thank you very much, Chris. Great run in the TW Technologies Toyota Camry. Big shout out to everybody at TWB, Cadian Motor Oils, Xerox Antifreeze, Big KK Mart, Bourget Rental Cars, and High Speed Turbo Thoughts. Chris, looking forward to all these great broadcasts here from Fast 29. Sound good tonight.
Appreciate
looking forward
it,
to watching it back.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Tommy Bordeaux, thank you very much. All right, we're going to see if we can grab a hold of Davey Hazard here before he takes off for the evening. Davey Hazard, Chris Pickett in the Fast 29 booth. You read us, buddy?
Yes, sir. I got you. How you doing, bud?
Doing good, man. You had a pretty good race this evening, finishing second. Nobody seemed to really be able to touch that 57 car tonight, but you tried to give it a run. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it all kind of started. I had totally borked my qualifying run. I had to start all the way in the back there. I think we would have had the pace if we would have started up front with him to challenge Tommy there. But at the end of the day, he put together a more solid weekend than I did, and that's fine. I'm fine with it. Tommy's a good friend. I felt like I was running him down when I had free track. It just was never going to be enough. I had to spend so much time going through the field that I lost a little too much time doing so, and it just, that's just is what it is. That's racing. And I'm just happy to have a good run after all these weeks.
Absolutely. It seemed like there was a lot of guys that kind of struggled in qualifying this evening that were kind of surprises. You being one of them. Huang Do didn't even complete a lap, I don't believe. So it was exciting to see how you guys kind of knifed through the field there. Tell us about the track and how hard it was to pass out there. There was a lot of guys kind of slipping and sliding out there.
Oh, yeah. It was really unpredictable because the track was decently hard on tires, and specifically rear tires, at least in my case. So you'd come off a corner and you could have the whole thing set up. There was a couple times where I had just the whole move set up, like this next straightaway, and I would go through the corner and I just would lose rear traction just a little bit. And as soon as you lose that ground, everything's so tight and everything's so like all the margins are really minuscule. So if you lose a little bit, you have to time your move correctly. So if you lose a little bit in one spot, you have to basically wait a whole lap to even kind of get back to where you need to be to pass again.
It seemed like a lot of momentum had to be involved with that.
Yeah. Like I had the move just about made on Darren when I was trying to get into second. I made one mistake and it set me back like a lap and a half of finally getting around him. It was you hit the nail on the head. If you didn't have the momentum with you, you had to work for it.
And I'll tell you, you two guys had a heck of a battle for basically was going to end up being second, with Tommy just absolutely dominating out there. But it seemed like when Darren went out, that seemed to kind of not end up being a race really for you, because it seemed like Tommy was in a class of his own, you were in a class of your own, and then everybody else was behind you.
Yeah, I was trying to do something cheeky with the pit stops. Tommy unfortunately pit at like the perfect time. And it didn't really matter what I did, because what I was trying to do is I was trying to pit with about 10 to go. That way, even if he short pit like he did, I would hopefully have the tires at the end, which it worked out because I made up 5 seconds in those last 3-4 laps. Yeah. But again, it just wasn't enough. I tried everything I could to be cheeky and get every little advantage I could. But at the end of the day, fell a little short, and that's okay.
I think that's about all you can do to compete with that 57 times sometimes, is to end up being cheeky, and a lot of times it just doesn't work out for any of us when we race against him. But great run tonight for Davey Hazard. We appreciate your time this evening, and we'll catch you next week in Atlanta.
Yes, sir. See you there.
Thanks, Davey. All right, we're going to see if we can grab a hold of our in-race reporter for the evening. He might have already taken off, actually. We'll see if we can track him down. Give me just a second. Actually, we're going to do a little bit of a surprise interview here. He's not expecting it, and I wasn't expecting to do it either, so we'll see what he says here. Dewey Schramm. Chris Pickett in the Fast 29 booth. You read us?
Barely.
Barely? How about now? Can you hear us now?
We're good.
All right. Surprise interview for you tonight because you basically have gotten a top 10 at a road course in Cup, and we wanted to shout out to you on that. Tell us about your run tonight.
I had a couple of screw-ups early on, but it was definitely a more of a rhythm race. Once you got yourself, situated, it was pretty good. The car was pretty good. Shout out to Hullong for making a really good setup tonight. And, I'm happy to get a top 10. I managed to one stop it because I was a couple laps down, so it all worked out somehow in the end.
Absolutely. Just wanted to definitely give you a shout out because you said you one stopped it. A lot of guys were running out right at the line. It seemed like you got across there pretty good and under power at least.
Yeah, it started sputtering about halfway through the final lap, and I ran out on the cool down lap. So if I was even 2 down, I wouldn't have made it. So one of the few times I'm grateful that I finished a race 3 laps down, because otherwise I wouldn't have gotten a top 10. So sometimes it all just works out that way.
Absolutely. Well, appreciate your time tonight, dude. We'll send you back over. But great run tonight, and we'll catch you at Atlanta.
All right, I'll be there.
All righty. Dewey Schramm finishes 10th tonight. So great racing tonight here for the Fast 29 series. Actually, we think we might have Dan back. Let's see if we can grab a hold of him real quick. Dan Asher, Chris Pickett in the Fast 29 booth. Do you read us, buddy?
I gotcha.
All righty, man. Glad you didn't take off on me. I thought you took off for a second there. Great run tonight. I think you finished, where are we at? 12th, 3 laps down there. Tell us about your run. I know you were trying to just basically survive tonight.
Yeah, the goal is to just keep the car clean and not get in anyone's way, and I'll take a P12, no scratch.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we weren't able to talk to you much tonight because there was absolutely no yellows, which I guess was a good thing. Quick race tonight.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it. That was a fun track to drive.
Seemed like it.
Just it's nice to just be able to clock in laps and not pace around. So
definitely,
I really enjoyed that. Could have had a top 10 there at the end if I didn't have a couple spins early in the race, and I was trying to manage my fuel and absolutely blew one of the turns at the end when I was battling with Dewey for 11th. So
just one of those deals. This track seems to be a track that is very easy to overdrive. We noticed a lot of that over the course of the entire field. Essentially was spinning tires, locking up, coming into the corners. Obviously a very tight city course. What was your, I'm assuming that's what you were feeling in the car as well. What was your strategy as far as trying to manage that and keep the tires on it and battle when you could?
Braking earlier, noticed a lot of guys were getting on the brakes pretty late and just burning off their tires, and they were leaving a ton of smoke off the turns. So I backed up my braking points probably about a quarter of the way through the race, and it did wonders for saving tires. Not that it really mattered because I wasn't really racing anybody, but it might have helped save fuel enough to where I was able to pull off a one-stopper during the race. So
all in all, a good yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
All right. Shout out to Dewey for an awesome race towards the end there. He just had the better run off the turns. I just had nothing for him. And almost had Mikey for 11th at the end. I think he had to make a pit stop, and he had an issue with a couple turns left, and I think we were side by side coming off the last turn, and he was able to get the launch, and my tires were like 20 laps old, so that they were just spinning.
Just junk at that point.
Junk.
Yeah. It seemed like tire wear wasn't as big of a factor as what we were thinking, unless you did start spinning them or locking them up.
Yeah, for sure. Tire wear was one of the biggest things that we were worried about when it came to setups, and Cal did a wonderful job with our setup. Obviously, I believe this was the first street course for Cup and USORL history.
I believe
so. Not much to go off of in terms of notes, but Cal gave us a setup that Zach and Cam were able to do something with. I'm I'm just, it's my first time back in Cup since the very first season of USORL full time. I've only done super speedway races since about season 4 or so. So this is like a whole new learning experience for me.
Absolutely. Well, you gave us a good show tonight. Hope we'll be able to have you back for in-race reporting next week at Atlanta. I'm sure the way the USRL races, there'll be much more chances for us to talk during the race than it was tonight. So,
for sure. We have a history with Atlanta.
I've been there too. ARC has not been fun for me there. I think I did run one cup race there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I just remember spinning a lot. So we'll look forward to hopefully having you back with us for in-race reporting next week. Daniel Asher, driver of the 26. Thank you for your time tonight, and we'll catch you then, buddy.
Thank you. And shout out to Devotion Nutrition. Thank you for sponsoring Trevor. Thank you, Joe Gibbs, for giving him a chance. Like I've always said, if you follow my graphic design page, if you sponsor my favorite driver, you sponsor me.
That's
it's not my rule.
That's
you just got to deal with it.
That is the rule. That's it. Absolutely. And a shout out too to Cal Lovall. He used to be cool, but I guess he's back cool in your book because of that setup tonight. So that's good.
Cal's always been cool. We just like giving him a hard time.
Got to give him crap. Absolutely.
He's especially cool when you take a 9-hour road trip with him. I had the pleasure of going from Indiana to Charlotte with him last year, and that was a blast.
Oh man, I should have hooked up with you on that one. You guys should have picked me up on the way.
Oh, where are you at?
I'm in Evansville. You're up by, well, you're past Indy, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be a little bit out of the way, but yeah, I could hook up with you in Louisville or something.
Yeah, we met up in Indy. I totally forgot about
that.
Right,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cal's in Louisville, so
yeah. Next time we need to do
I don't think he's going to the meetup this year though, so
we'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah, for sure.
All righty. Daniel Asher, we appreciate it. We'll catch you next week at Atlanta, buddy.
See you there.
All righty. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Fast 29, AlphaTauri Cup Series for the USRL. Getting ready to sign off. Next week, we will be at Atlanta for the Cup Series. ARCA and IndyCar, I believe, is off next week, so I will not be behind the wheel next week. It'll just be the Atlanta races, so we're looking forward to that. So you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you then. God bless. Have a good night.